What's up, sports fans? This is the Lucas Ross Sports Channel. We continue with our 2025 predictions for the upcoming 2025 college football season. Up next is the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Of course, Mississippi State coming off a pretty rough year last year, going just 2-10 in 2024. They could have been 3-9 if they would have won one of their non-conference games, but either way, this team was 2-10 last year and definitely the worst team in the SEC. And they also had a pretty tough schedule. You look ahead to 2025, my thoughts on this team. You look at the offensive side of the football, you got Blake Shapen coming back at quarterback. Obviously only played 4 games last year before he got injured, and I think that kind of caused Mississippi State to be like a competitive team probably for the rest of the way. So yeah, with him back at quarterback, I think this offense has a chance to be a little bit better. So yeah, I do like this offense a lot for Mississippi State. I think it's probably going to trend in the right direction in 2025. But then you look on defense, this defense is definitely a big question mark. I don't know how good the defense is going to be here for Mississippi State. That's obviously a big concern here if you're the Bulldogs. So let's now get to the schedule for 2025. And again, here is that schedule for Mississippi State. Again, this team was 2-10 last year in 2024. So let's go game by game, and I'll give you my official prediction for this Mississippi State football team for 2025. And they're actually going to start things off with the season with a road game at Southern Miss here on August 30th. So they don't really have to travel that far. It's really just down the road and everything. Yeah, Mississippi State definitely should be able to take care of business in this one. Southern Miss used to be like a pretty respectable group of 5 team. I don't know how good they are still or not, or I don't know if they are definitely like the same program as they used to be. But even though it's on the road, I think Mississippi State will take care of business. Again, I don't know why they're starting off the season with a road game against a group of 5 team, but I got this Mississippi State team starting off 1-0, and then they get ready for a big non-conference game at home against Arizona State on September the 6th. Back then when I did my Arizona State video, I did say I think this game was not going to be really even close. But now I look back at this game, I feel like it's going to be probably a closer game than you might think. Maybe it's close in the first half, maybe second half, Arizona State probably does pull away. I just look at the experience of this Arizona State team. It's really just there. And I also do trust Sam Levitt at quarterback a lot more than Blake Shapen. I mean, as of right now, I think Arizona State is definitely the better team. But I wouldn't be surprised if Mississippi State is competitive in this one. It's against a Big 12 team, so they're definitely... the Bulldogs do play in a tougher conference than Arizona State in my opinion. And yeah, the Cowbells will be rolling in this game, but I don't think it will be enough for Mississippi State to pull off the upset. So I'm going here with the Sun Devils to get the win. That's going to give Mississippi State their first loss of the season, so that's going to put them at 1-1. But then I got them beating Alcorn State. That might be the easiest win on this entire schedule for 2025 for Mississippi State. And then I got them beating Northern Illinois. But I don't think Northern Illinois is going to be a blowout. I feel like it's going to be a closer game than you might think. That's a Northern Illinois team out of the MAC that beat, of course, Notre Dame last year. The team that was runner-ups in the national championship. And I actually wouldn't be surprised if the Bulldogs did kind of slip up in that game. Again, that's a quality group of 5 teams. So, yeah, don't sleep on that game if you're Mississippi State. They could be looking ahead to the Tennessee game for next week over Northern Illinois. So, yeah, you never know about that game. But I think Mississippi State will win it. And I got this team improving to 3-1. And then they open up SEC play. Just talked about it against Tennessee at home on September 27th. A Tennessee team that I think definitely has some question marks, especially with the offensive side of the football. Defensively, they could be pretty good there. So I think this Mississippi State team, they will score in this game. I think it will be a competitive game. But I just don't think it will be enough. So I think Tennessee definitely the better team at the end of the day. I know the Cowbells will be rolling in this game, and it's going to be a pretty tough game here for the Vols. But I'm going to go with Tennessee here to still win this game. So I think it will be close, but I'm going to say that Mississippi State does come up short, pulling off an upset here potentially. And I got this team given their second loss of the year. That's going to put them now at 3-2. Then they go on the road to play Texas A&M on October the 4th. Yeah, no chance here for Mississippi State in my opinion. Texas A&M going to be a pretty talented team. And also, this one is on the road. That's a very tough place to play. So I think Texas A&M wins this one. Not a blowout, but I think it's going to be like at least a game where the Aggies win it by a couple of touchdowns. They get their first bye week before going on the road to play Florida on October the 18th. So they got back-to-back road games here with Texas A&M and Florida. Two very tough places to play on the road. And like I said, this is a very tough schedule for Mississippi State. It's one of the toughest in the country, in my opinion. You look at this Florida team, a lot of hype around them this year. They're also going to have a pretty good offense. Defensively, they could be a solid defense. Maybe Mississippi State makes this one close for a while because maybe they do have a similar type of offense compared to Florida's. But I think Florida, talent-wise, they're definitely the better team here, and so I think Florida does prevail in this one. I think the bye week will help out Mississippi State to probably get some time to recover before going on the road again to play Florida this time, but it won't be enough. Mississippi State loses that game, and so after a 3-1 start, you have lost now your 3 games in a row. That's going to put them now at 3-4, and then they play Texas at home here on October 25th. Obviously going to be a pretty tough game here for Mississippi State. I think Texas is going to definitely have the most talented team in the country this year. Texas definitely with Arch Manning at quarterback. I think that's definitely going to bode well here for the Longhorns. And yeah, I don't think Mississippi State, even at home, this might not be even a close game at all. Again, I know Mississippi State is playing at home. They definitely do have a shot to compete in some of these games, but probably not this one. I don't really think it's compared to the Tennessee and Arizona State game, where they probably, are with this team in the first half, but second half, it's where they get pulled away at. So, yeah, I think it's not really similar to the Tennessee and Arizona State game. I think it will be a blowout, so I think Texas wins this one pretty easily. Maybe they win it by like 27 points, so I got Mississippi State now falling to 3-5. Then they get to the month of November. They go on the road to play Arkansas on November 1st, an Arkansas team that I think is going to be pretty solid. You look at these two offenses, I feel like they're both pretty even. Defensively, I would probably give the advantage to the Razorbacks. Plus, they're playing at home. I do expect a shootout here in this one, but I think Arkansas playing at home, that's the difference here in this one. So I think Arkansas beats Mississippi State here in a pretty close game. But I wouldn't be surprised if Mississippi State did win this game, but I got them falling in that one, so that's going to put them now at 3-6. And then they got to win their final 3 games in order to make it to a bowl game. But they got Georgia here at home the next week here on November 8th. Yeah, no shot here in this one. I think Mississippi State's going to get blown out in this one as well. Kind of similar to the Texas game where they're not really competitive. They're just not quite up to that talent level with Texas and Georgia both. So I think Georgia does get the win, and that's going to put Mississippi State now at 3-7. So no bowl game this year for the Bulldogs and Mississippi State. But then they play Missouri after that here on the road on November 15th. Potentially Mississippi State could really be competitive in this game. I think they do have a shot here to maybe pull off some kind of, win in this one. But I don't think it will be enough. Mississippi State probably comes in a little bit beat up, especially after playing Georgia from last week. And when you play a physical team, like a pretty talented team in Texas and Georgia, and then probably same thing with Alabama, you tend to get beat up from, last week going into your game the next week. And so I think Mississippi State's going to get not really blown out here, but I just don't think they'll have enough to prevail here against the Tigers. So I think Missouri does get the win here. And that's going to drop Mississippi State down to 3-8. And then the final game of the season will be at home against Ole Miss on November the 28th. Meant to change my graphic there. This game is on a Friday. It's right, the Friday after Thanksgiving. These two teams don't play each other on Thanksgiving anymore, but they do play each other on the Friday after Thanksgiving. So this is a home game for Mississippi State. It's a rivalry game. Anything can happen. I think the Bulldogs definitely do have a shot here to pull off a huge win here against the Rebels. Ole Miss has got some question marks on defense, but offensively, it's going to be pretty tough to stop here for this Ole Miss offense to really handle it for the defense in Mississippi State. So I think this one is kind of similar to the Arkansas game. It will be a shootout, but at the end of the day, in a shootout, I do trust Lane Kiffin and this coaching staff and this Ole Miss offense to get it done. So I think Mississippi State does lose a close game here in a shootout against Ole Miss, and I got this team finishing 3-9. So that's what I got Mississippi State doing this year in 2025. I definitely can see this team going like 4-8 or 5-7 because I feel like they can potentially pull off some upsets this year. Tennessee is a potential upset in my opinion. You got Arkansas, even though it's on the road. They could potentially pull off an upset there. Not an upset. I mean, I think Arkansas is not going to be a top 25 team. Definitely Ole Miss is a potential upset alert game. Missouri could potentially win that game as well. This team can definitely go 5-7 if they potentially win some of these games. I don't think they're going to beat Georgia. I don't think they're going to beat Texas, either Florida or even Texas A&M. Those are just really tough games there for Mississippi State to go up against. Maybe they have a shot against Arizona State as well. I think this will be a competitive team, and they could be the best 3-9 team in the country. But I got this team going 3-9 in 2025. So that's my prediction for the Bulldogs and Mississippi State. Give me your prediction for Mississippi State as well down in the comments below. Do you agree or disagree with this prediction as well? Thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned for more sports content videos on my Lucas Ross Sports YouTube channel.